Oh boy, some major decisions and moves are being made right now regarding Israel as podcasters are asking the hard questions and sticking to their guns by saying things like this.
What's your go-to at McDonald's?
No, I'll take Burger King.
Everyone in Gaza is starving, some to death.
We did the double.
Forced starvation unfolding in Gaza, where malnourished children are overwhelming the remaining hospitals.
Burger King kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It shocks my...
Maybe it's not the best optics to talk about your favorite burger during a starvation of an entire population of people that you're imprisoning. Well done there, Tim Dillon, with this type of montage there, as there are now multiple countries and states that are willing to recognize the state of Palestine, as Donald Trump really isn't too happy about this, as allegedly he is privately telling his donors that things are not looking good for America's support and role, as it looks like Donald Trump is costing himself a lot of political leverage when it comes to supporting, aiding, and abetting, and giving everything, plus more, and concessions, and arrests and deportations of anyone willing to be sort of critical of foreign policy of the Israeli state. A weird situation that a lot of people are saying really isn't America first here, as there's a big bifurcation through many MAGA supporters that are asking some very serious questions right now that are a little bit inconvenient for Donald Trump to be asked here, as we are going to be getting into this issue, even though, listen, there's a reason a lot of podcasters, a lot of major players don't like to talk about this topic, because when you do, you get ostracized and attacked and get lumped in with a whole bunch of crazy people that are just virulent, racist. We're not those type of people. You know we're not those type of people, but we're willing to, of course, talk about this issue. And if you appreciate that, subscribe, click the notification button. You are appreciated more than ever. As, of course, let's just get into it. As the state of Canada just announced that they will recognize a Palestinian state in September.
The reasons I cited earlier, Canada intends to recognize the state of Palestine at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025.
This, as some Israelis are saying, there won't be any states to recognize. As Donald Trump responded to this by saying, wow, Canada has just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. As a lot of people are saying, like, that's okay, like, you're doing the bidding of another state here, as the United States has always usually done, especially at the UN Security Council when it comes to major votes. The United States usually stands alone against the entire world, usually backing Israel. Let's just be honest with ourselves. That previously happened, and it's happening now. All of this as Donald Trump is making some very interesting statements about the kind of support and hubbub that's happening behind the scenes that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But it's not just Canada that's doing this. It's also, of course, the United Kingdom. France became the first G7 country to say it would recognize a Palestinian state, followed by the United Kingdom and, of course, now Canada, as there are now conversations happening that are pretty serious. As, of course, Trump is backing Israel and rebukes the UK government over Palestinian state recognition once again, saying, hey, what are you guys doing here? As it looks like Germany might be doing the same soon, as the German foreign minister says that the process to recognize a Palestinian state, quote, must begin now. Poland says it can serve as an example for Western countries now considering recognizing Palestinian statehood, given that it has itself done so for almost 4 decades. It has also announced an increase in aid to Palestine, as U.S. allies have broken with Donald Trump, as there is a diplomatic shift regarding the situation right now that's unfolding with Gaza, the Palestinians, and the Israelis. As this is the big kind of news here, as we are learning, allegedly from the Financial Times, that Trump is warning his Jewish donors, the Andelsons and many others, that, quote, my people, the MAGA people, quote, are starting to hate Israel. Now, I would say that word hate is just being kind of blanketly thrown around here. There are people who just do have hate in their hearts. But there are other people who are talking about this in a legitimate way, saying, hey, where's the priority for America here? Because we're losing relationships with foreign countries. We are making the situation tougher to end the war in Ukraine because we're bombing Iran, which Putin said, please don't do. We did it anyway. You have Netanyahu defying Donald Trump publicly recently. Donald Trump saying, don't bomb Iran, stop it, turn the planes back now. And Netanyahu saying, yeah, okay, boom, dropping more bombs on them. It was also interesting to see Bibi Netanyahu be the first to declare that the United States was attacking Iran. And then Donald Trump did it later in what looked like a very kind of off-tone type of heavy decision. As right now, the Financial Times is reporting that Trump threw Netanyahu under the bus. I haven't seen that happen. There was a disinformation campaign earlier this year meant for the Iranians to put down their defenses to allow a more successful Israeli-American intelligence-linked attack, a very similar one that was launched against the Russian nuclear arsenal. That was done earlier, but we heard this before. And unless there's actual confirmation, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Because it could be a disinformation campaign. It's based off anonymous sources. But he, behind the closed doors, is accusing him of, quote, lying about the starvation in Gaza. And we saw Donald Trump break with that a little bit. So that's one legitimate, concrete thing that we did see. Now, before talking about this Financial Times report, we wanted to tell you about thebestpoliticalshirts.com, where you can get the shirt that I'm wearing right now that says Epstein didn't Epstein himself. Great shirt. People in Poland even understand it. We got a lot of great Epstein shirts, which a lot of people say is related to the current story that we're talking about right now. Type in Epstein into the search bar on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and you will see some great, awesome, incredible shirts. Don't forget to click load more here. Christmas is just around the corner. We got a great Christmas shirt. I mean, this one literally got our t-shirt store banned. And it says, Christmas lights are like Epstein. And then there's a tagline behind it. We have Ghislaine Maxwell didn't off herself. Epstein didn't off himself. It's not off, it's something else, but YouTube doesn't like us saying it. And then, of course, we got this one, which you know, I've released a couple years ago. It's taken a while to load here. But things you'll never see in your life. And it's flying pigs, dinosaurs, and, of course, the Jeffrey Epstein client list. Pigs flying. The usual. Get the shirt, speak your mind, express yourself. Life is short, and once you start living your life fully without being unabashful and unafraid to really express yourself, it's awesome. It's incredible. We have a lot of funny ones. It's pretty clear here that America is run on blackmail, and we made that shirt in black and white, also available to you on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. So get them while supplies last, and support us, support yourself, speak out. As, of course, a lot of people are saying, maybe because we're being blackmailed. Maybe because Trump is being blackmailed. Maybe that could explain his actions that are more representative of a MAGA movement rather than a MAGA movement, as the MAGA movement was coined by him about, quote, making Iran great again. Other people were saying it's really about, not Iran, it's about the other country in there that Donald Trump is pulling out all the stops for. Now, you know, there's a certain kind of questioning that needs to be done where, you know, you kind of got to step back a little bit and be like, really? We're doing all this? What are we getting in response? What are we getting in return? Other than Bibi publicly humiliating Donald Trump and then going against his direct wishes publicly. What are we getting? What's the purpose? How does this benefit America when we're destroying the prospects of peace in Ukraine? We're destroying our relationships with other foreign countries. For what? And while at the same time condoning, paying for, financing, arming a starvation of 2 million people. Now, some aid is now finally being sent in there, but it was blocked. It was blocked from the Israelis. And clearly, there was a major impact here that Donald Trump even recognized. Bibi and Charlie Kirk came out and said, what's starvation? There's no starvation. Donald Trump came out and said, yeah, the situation is severe. People are really starving. It's pretty bad. Okay? Why did Bibi and Charlie Kirk counter Donald Trump? Are they never Trumpers? Are they panicans? What are they? What's wrong with them? Why didn't they have the president's back? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But Donald Trump has said that the suffering in Gaza is terrible. And it is. And there's no denying it. And I don't care how many times Charlie Kirk or Bibi tell you no, it's not happening. It's happening. Okay? I'm sorry. It is. He says, my people are starting to hate Israel, he told the top Jewish donor as MAGA voices blasted U.S. support and called the war a genocide. Netanyahu may have had a blank check, but the MAGA base is starting to grab the pen. Will that translate into any kind of legitimate actions? Not if Donald Trump is being blackmailed here, which is an explanation that some people are using to explain what's really going on here. Now, is that exactly what's going on here? I don't know. As, again, support, this is such an unpopular kind of maneuver, not just amongst Democrats, but also Republicans. 32% in the United States back Israel's military actions in Gaza. It's a new low. And again, I'm always questioning polls. This one's done by Gallup. As of course, this has widely divided a bunch of people. As of course, we have to understand here, the people of Israel aren't happy with Bibi either. Now, Senate Democrats are actually trying to block a $675 million Israeli arms deal. They failed to do so. But it is significant that now a record number of senators voted to block weapon sales to Israel. We saw other members of Congress, like MTG, propose similar matters, and then AOC voted against it. What in the world's going on here? As Axios is reporting that the Gaza starvation widens MAGA's rupture with Israel. As of course, this is a situation that I think was first evident of the first real kind of divide amongst the MAGA movement, the Donald Trump movement, being like, okay, we're bombing Iran now? Why? Why are we doing this? Like, this has no benefit to us at all. Why are we taking these extreme actions? Why are we spending, it's estimated we spent $2 billion. Why are we reducing our THAAD missile defense system significantly for this type of foreign endeavor and foreign conflict that never works out great for us, ever? Now, some people argue it's one and done. He's not going to come back in there. He's not going to do it again. Donald Trump's literally threatening to do it again. So is Bibi. They're like, we're going to go back in anytime. And I'm like, what? I think in the span of 2 years it's going to happen again. That's been my prediction. And we'll see if I am correct or if I am wrong here. If I am wrong, I'll correct the record. Now, this starvation here, it's serious. It's legitimate, as of course the Republican political party is dealing with a younger and younger base. And again, they're trying to say, oh, people hate you. They're anti-Semitic. No, it's people saying, I just want policies to be directed more formally to take care of me and my people, rather than a country whose foreign leader keeps disrespecting our leader. I would rather we focus on the problems at home than deal with these foreign endeavors and spend all of our money when we're in such huge massive amounts of debt on perpetuating a starvation of an entire group of people. As we got new reporting from The Guardian here, reporting how the IDF has taken out 30 Palestinians allegedly waiting for aid. The Gaza defense minister says U.S. Special Envoy is due to visit Israel soon, as there's reports of 300 people being wounded in an incident. As again, this situation, tragic. You imprison an entire population. You don't allow anything in or out. You wage a whole entire military campaign. And we're financing it, and we're paying for the vast majority of it. Why? But hey, there's going to be the Trump Heights now, a new community that's going to be established in the previously contested territories of the Golan Heights region, as of course the Israeli government that helped overthrow the Syrian government along with the United States and other jihadis and Sunni radicals now have new territory that they get to play with, as of course now they have an excuse for saying, oh no, this new leadership that we put in after installing the old one is pretty bad. Oh, look, problem, reaction, solution. We have a perfect excuse to go in there now. And now we're going to have new communities. But guess what? We're going to call it the Trump Heights.
What an awesome name.
Okay, you going to say anything else?
This is where the new community named after President Donald J. Trump will be established, here in the Golan Heights of Israel.
Previously contested territory, and again, only because of the collapse of Syria. Now the Israelis are literally bombing Syria. They bomb Lebanon, they bomb Yemen, and the war just keeps escalating. And a lot of people are like, why are we financing and supporting and aiding and abetting these type of very aggressive actions here? As, listen, these talks right now, I mean, we were told by Donald Trump and Bibi there was going to be a ceasefire soon. That ceasefire never held. Now, it's not just Donald Trump that's losing political favor here. It's also Bibi. There was massive amounts of protest against Bibi, massive amount of corruption charges that he has been able to avoid because there's a perpetual conflict. And October 7th happened, and then Bibi's like, okay, I got to stay in power because there's a war, and as long as there's a war, I got to stay in power. And when political leadership stays in power because of a war, they're going to expand that war because they're going to want to stay in power. As a lot of people are expecting Bibi to be kicked out as soon as these wars are over, but Bibi knows this, and I think he is incentivized towards prolonging, expanding, and making sure that these conflicts kind of kick off and escalate here. Now, again, we have seen massive amount of fighting, massive amount of war ever since October 7th that kicked it off. And for a lot of people, it's seen like the perfect excuse for the Israelis to be able to do whatever they want to do. Now, there's other comedians like Tim Dillon, who brags about his dinners with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance made some very interesting comments about this on the Theo Von Show, too. And Tim Dillon is coming out and is saying messages like this that are resonating with a lot of Americans that are saying, hey, let's take care of our problems at home first, please.
Cut off funding to Israel immediately. Cut off funding. Oh, 100%. I don't know why that's even controversial. Get up Randy Fine. Get a photo of Randy Fine. Now, this is the guy who literally said starve away. He said something like release the hostages, which, again, the children of Gaza did not abduct the hostages and cannot release them. Randy Fine, genius. Get Randy Fine. Look how fat Randy Fine is. Randy Fine literally said starve away. This guy is out there telling the Gazans to starve while looking like he's like full of fucking marshmallow fluff. It's the cruelest thing to just have a fatty boom batty.
Yep, and even AIPAC disavowed him and made sure that they're no longer supporting that U.S. congressman that took away Matt Gaetz' seat. That's crazy how much of a transition that was there. Now, Tim Dillon came out and says, yeah, America is funding a famine in Gaza. We are, and we're paying for it. Tucker Carlson just had John Mescherheimer on the show here talking about how the United States should have nothing to do with this. But it does, and it doesn't just have our stamp of approval on it. But more importantly, it's important to note here, none of this would be happening if it wasn't for the United States supporting, aiding, and abetting, and following through with this. All right? All that pain, all that suffering, all that human misery has our stamp of approval on it. Why? I want to know why. What are we getting? Explain it to me, please. If you're in the chat room, if you think I'm wrong, let me know why.
Part because of Israel. And this is just a strategic dimension. We're not even talking about the moral dimension. I mean, the Israelis are executing a genocide in Gaza, and we are complicitous in that genocide.
When you say it's a genocide, what do you mean?
Well, if you look at what the definition of a genocide is, right, it's where one country tries to destroy either all or a substantial portion of another group, another ethnic or religious or national group for the purposes of basically destroying that group identity.
Yep, this as now the Israelis are meeting with a lot of Western countries and back-channeling saying, hey, we're going to take their territory and we're going to have to kick them out. We're going to send them to you, okay? And a lot of Western countries like Canada, even though they're recognizing the Palestinian statehood, are like, oh, yeah, we're kind of open to that idea. They were. How will all of this kind of play out here? As, of course, tough decisions are going to be made here. It looks like this conflict isn't going to be ending anytime soon. As again, U.S. support for the Israeli action in Gaza isn't just being opposed by the Democrats. It's a growing movement that is splitting up the MAGA movement. And it's pretty clear where people stand. There's a lot of big-time donors that are making sure that people stay in line, say what they're supposed to say, support their cause, and listen, it's pretty clear where I stand on this. I think we were promised to make America great again, and I think we should focus on that. I think when it comes to Israel and just how flippant it has been, how Bibi has been absolutely disrespectful to Donald Trump, highlights a situation that is just inexcusable. And I'm sorry, but Donald Trump, if he keeps aiding and abetting and supporting all this, is complicit in all of this, complicit in the starvation, unless he actually reins in Israel and says, guys, stop it. Stop. This is ridiculous. All right? Set up this two-state solution. Learn to live with each other. Forgive each other for the past grievances. Move on. This is a very complicated issue. Of course, it goes back historically, and it's an issue that, of course, will be with us for the foreseeable future. How Donald Trump is handling it, it's interesting because he made those statements, and he makes he made those statements during that disinformation campaign too. But unless it's actually met with legitimate action, don't expect much from the President of the United States other than rhetoric. Now, if he actually does something, we'll call it out and we'll say it right away. I don't think he will. That's just my take. What do you think is going to be happening from here? Let me know. I always appreciate your constructive criticism. You guys showing me a different point of view. You guys showing me evidence and things that I wouldn't naturally see before. I have an open mind. I'm open to just seeing things differently. But there's no other way to see things other than what we're seeing right now. Prove me wrong. Thank you for getting the shirts. Thank you for supporting this independent media organization. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.